The overdose deaths of these two teenagers on Vancouver Island has renewed calls for the BC government to reintroduce legislation that would confine at-risk youth in hospital for substance use treatment. For more on that, we're joined by Rob Shaw at the legislature. So, Rob, what are the politicians saying?
Well, Stacey, a third straight day of silence from Premier John Horgan and his ministers on what, if anything, they're doing to respond to these tragic teen overdose deaths. However, opposition leader Shirley Bond emerging today to call on government to return Bill 22, as you heard in April's story, which would allow health officials to confine teens who suffered an overdose in hospital for up to a week for treatment. Here's Shirley Bond.
One of the reasons that was given for going to an election during a pandemic was the fact that the Safe Care Act, Bill 22, that the Premier couldn't get that passed. Well, we have heard nothing about that bill since that moment in time. And perhaps that isn't the only answer, or even there needs to be work done on that particular concept and that bill. But let's have the conversation. Let's do the work that's necessary.
Now, the Premier and his ministers keep using the excuse that they can't comment because of the privacy of the deceased teens. That's an excuse governments have used here for more than a decade. One of the worst examples was in 2015 when the parents of Nick Lang, a 15-year-old who died at a treatment facility for addictions in Campbell River, tried to go public with their son's story and were hit with a government letter saying they're violating their deceased teen son's privacy. The angriest MLA at the time was the Wanda Fuca MLA, John Horgan, then leader of the opposition, who said hiding behind privacy for government on child deaths was unconscionable. Take a look at this clip from the Premier in 2015 when similar cases like this were happening.
Address the issues, be accountable. The decisions made by the Premier are directly affecting the lives of children in BC. Wake up, Premier, do something about it.
Stacey, there's an old adage in this building that the longer you're in BC politics, the more you end up doing everything you ever criticize. So there'll certainly be a few people out there looking for John Horgan to wake up, do the same type of accountability that he used to call on others when he was in opposition. Stacey?